Shalom family. So here we are making our almond milk. I took 1 cup of raw almonds and I soaked it in boiling hot water. Generally you would do this overnight in cold water, but since I was making this literally in the moment, the fastest way to get it done quickly is to put it in hot water. Next, after it's set for that 1 hour, when the timer went off, I strained off the almond, and as you see, they're straining off into my large measuring cup, and I'm going to begin the separation process. So the peeling can happen with overnight or with hot water. I generally rinse them off to get off any extras that's on there because they are raw again. And I'm going to begin to set them in a porcelain bowl for my cabinet and to remove the skins. I have come into the knowledge of understanding that you can actually just dump them right into the blender at this point, but you do get a nice creamier and thicker milk when you peel the skin off, as you see me doing that. So I'm going to be separating them here. So right here, I'm separating the almonds. This is a tedious process because it probably takes roughly about 10 minutes for the 1 cup. I did notice that it was easy to just slip right off, and I generally would just give a demonstration of how easy the skin just peeled right off. You may get a couple of stubborn ones, but generally all the skins do come off, and then you'll see here how they completely just look awesome separated. I didn't know that there was going to be that much of an easy process for that. So here, when you generally are about to fill up the water portion of a typical milk, water is normally the base, but in my case, I decided to add coconut water. You can get and or use from actual coconut if you choose to. So here you see me adding the coconut water to my blender. Excuse the mess, it was definitely was pouring out. I added exactly 4 cups. If you want to make a thinner milk, you can actually use more. Thicker, you add less. For my sweetener, I added organic pitted dates. You can add honey, maple syrup, any type of sweetener really. And my household did feel that the 2 dates was more than enough. So you can add it depending on how sweet you want to make it. My blender was giving me a hard time. It is on its last leg, but we definitely making do. I have to literally hold it down with one arm pushing on it just so it can actually blend. So excuse the camera going over and over again, back and forth. But for 1 minute, you're blending for whatever type of sauce that you use. It came out really, really well. I saw the blender having its moment. It did too good. And I was literally, I'm about to strain it here. I did have a little bit of the coconut water left. So I put the strainer, and then I did a double layer of the cheesecloth just to really help make sure none of the pulp gets through and it could catch it. And I began to pour. I was doing this by myself, so hence the constant pausing, but still all praise be to the Most High. So once I would pour it in and it would get to the top, I would let it naturally just drain down on its own. And then I would end up picking it up and squeezing it out because most of it was filled up with the almond pulp in itself. But it turned out to be great. I did do it about 3 times of me pouring it, letting it scoop. And as you see in the last bit that I had left, I'm squeezing out the remaining. And it totaled to be a little less than 4 cups, or just about. And then I poured what they'll call the meat into the dish that you will see shortly. But this process was fairly simple. I'll say minus the overnight process of soaking, whether you use oats, whether you use cashews, whether you use almonds. Make sure you get them in their raw setting because it will turn out your milk will be salty, or whatever the case may be if you get it any other than this raw form. And here is the finished product of our almond milk. I used coconut water with it. It turned to be nice and creamy. Keep in mind it will separate because it is made naturally, and it generally will last up to 3 to 5 days, roughly a week. Made from 1 cup of almonds, 32 ounces from 1 cup. So if you want to make a gallon, you literally would put about 4 cups mixed with about 15 of water. And a lot of people may have asked what I do with the pulp. I put it in a Ziploc bag and pretty much freeze it, and you can put it in baking goods. You could put it in pretty much anything, or even eat it as a nice light snack, and that's a lot of fiber and nutrition. But other than that, this short little clip, I hope you enjoyed it and learned a little something, and even share some things back. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Shalom.